My favorite best ball draft has opened up. That's right, the puppy is here. Get your $5 bill ready. Got some quick points for you, and welcome to the climb. Alex, how are you hanging, brother?
Hanging in there, like you said, the puppy is back. It's a great time to be alive.
Yes, this is my favorite time of year because my poor man money is going to run wild.
Yes, it's time to blast away at these $5 drafts. And before we do, I just got a couple reminders and a couple points on the contest itself. So, as a reminder for the climb, we are on the road to 100 subscribers here, and we'll be giving away a free Best Ball Mania 4 entry or 5 entries into the puppy, whichever you prefer. To enter, just give us a follow on Twitter at The Climb FF or subscribe here on the YouTube channel. And then I got some details here on the puppy. As we mentioned at the top, it's a $5 entry, little over 100,000 spots in this one. It's filling fast. It opened a little over 48 hours ago. It's already 20% full. So I'd say by the end of next week, this thing's already going to be full. It's 75,000 to first, so a good chunk of change there. Advancement structure is a little bit different from Best Ball Mania. There's no regular season prizes. It's all in those playoff weeks. So still have to be top 2 out of 12 to make it to the playoffs. And then week 15 is a little bit softer than Best Ball Mania 4. You can be 2 of 18 instead of 1 of 16, I think, is Best Ball Mania 4.
I think that's right.
And then, week 16 is the tough one. You got to be first out of 18 to make the finals. But if you do make the finals, it's only 115 team finals. So about a quarter of the size of Best Ball Mania 4 finals. So making it to the finals in this contest is pretty valuable.
Yes.
And then one thing I was going to talk about, this is a lineup that I drafted earlier this week. And I just wanted to touch on some points of strategy for the puppy versus Best Ball Mania right now. Obviously, Best Ball Mania is going to take the whole summer to fill, so the ADP landscape can change a lot. Different combinations can be more common at different points in the summer. But with the puppy only happening over the course of a week, you have the opportunity to get unique with your builds because, like in this case, Justin Herbert, his ADP is 49. That means in almost all drafts, he's going to be going at the back part of the 4th round, early part of the 5th round. He's going to be very commonly paired with players that are going in the early parts of like round 1 or the late part of round 2. So that gives us an opportunity to get unique in a case like this, where I got Herbert not only at a value, but at the back half of the 5th round. Now I've paired him with a player like Devontae Adams, who's going late in the 1st round. That's going to be an uncommon pairing. And then I also, usually I wouldn't go 2 quarterbacks this early, but again, since it was a chance to get unique, I have no idea if a Chargers stack or a Jaguars stack is going to be what you need to win this contest. But I do know that Jaguars and Chargers stacked together is going to be pretty uncommon. So I think that's a big point of getting unique in this contest. Ideally, you can do it at an ADP value, but I think even if you're being intentional about when you're reaching for players, it can be useful to get unique.
Absolutely. And I mean, the team is beautiful.
yeah, really can't ask for a better team here. Good structure, and both quarterbacks ended up triple stacked in this. And I also went pretty heavy on the division bringbacks since we still don't have the schedule. So, and then just to talk a little bit more about stacking, this is from at Sam Hoppin with 4 for 4, basically showing team by team the layout of where players are being drafted, gives you an idea of, what capital you're going to have to spend to get a stack of a certain team. So one that stood out to me is the Chargers with Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, and Herbert all going right around each other. They're not only an expensive stack, but one that's pretty hard to get all of the premium pieces there. And then I also noticed, we talked about it on the last show, but Carolina and Houston definitely stand out as the cheaper stacks right now.
Yeah, long shot.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see what we come up with in our drafts today.
Yeah, our goal is we're both going to try to enter Puppy at the same time, and if we land together, that's awesome. If not, you guys are going to be seeing my draft, and we're going to focus primarily on that.
All right, I'm at the ready here, so as soon as you're in, I'll try and join.
All right, 3, 2, 1. All right, fingers crossed.
All right, I think we got it. I will say, I've done a lot of these this weekend. Definitely feels like an advantage to be picking in the top half of a round. I mean, obviously you get a better player in the first, but the pocket of running backs at the 2-3 turn right now feels like a gold mine.
Yeah, you're just hitting big already. You want to talk about our Dynasty rookie draft while we're waiting on this a little bit?
Yeah. So let's set the groundwork here. You and I played in the title game last year,
somehow.
which I won.
Yeah, but we shouldn't have been.
we both started tanking after the first month of the season and somehow ended up facing each other in the finals. But after some trades, I ended up with the 101 and you ended up with the 103, right?
102. Well, yeah, after the trade, I was 103.
Yeah. And then, so obviously I took Bijan with the 101, and then you got very lucky at the 103.
Yeah. So our buddy, he had all these trades, and let's see if you got in the same one here. Uh-oh.
Yeah, no, I'm at the 12.
Oh, nope, you're at the 12. So, we did it. Cool. I got 2.
We'll get some very, very different builds here.
Yeah, I'll say we're on the other side of the spectrums, so that's kind of nice. I mean, my choice is easy here.
Yeah.
I don't have to think about this one too much for me. I just hope I don't end up too similar to where you were last time. But yeah, so the guy, he ended up making trades with me and Erwin. He traded up to the 101, and then I had traded him the 102 and to end up getting Brees and some other stuff. Long story short, the dude forgot to set his alarm, ironically. And he missed the first pick, and it auto-drafted him CJ Stroud. It's a super flex league. And I managed to pull off A-Rich.
Yeah,
the 103.
Pretty sweet haul getting Brees and Anthony Richardson in there.
So you can go Jamar Chase, go CMC. I know I like Chase more right now solely for the wide receiver. Boom at the end of the year. More likely than not. Ooh, yeah. Cup at 3. Interesting.
Already going pretty wide receiver heavy here. Don't usually see Cup that early. So I don't know if it'll happen. I think usually AJ Brown is gone before pick 12, but you know, kind of what I talked about at the start, like Pollard's always going at the 2-3 turn. So if it's there, I'm going to take AJ Brown and Pollard, get the NFC East correlation potentially, and give myself a unique build, even though that's reaching on Pollard.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, if I can build around the Bengals and maybe like the Ravens, ideally, but we'll see. Yeah. We can go Steelers, worst case scenario, too.
Yeah, the Steelers feel like a really good safety net option.
Pull up some side stuff here. Get my big brain working slowly.
Another thing that's going to be interesting is the contest is going to be pretty full by the time the schedule releases, but I do think the slow drafters or, you know, the last like 10% of this contest are going to have a chance to build around the actual schedule. So I think those people are going to have a pretty big edge since all of the money is in the playoff weeks here.
And I think we're both probably going to try to put in a couple entries towards the end of that just to use that strategy. So that's also something for you guys to keep in mind as well.
Yeah.
You might get Eckler here. Yeah. How do you feel about Eckler in general right now?
I've been taking him more. I feel like at this point, he's probably going to be on the
The guy.
Chargers. So it does give me some concern that with the new OC coming in there, they're going to be throwing deeper down the field.
Mhm.
So in this case,
Ooh, I see something you could go with. Instead, go CD Saquon.
I thought about that. Devontae Eckler is another. They're both AFC West, so I could do
Right.
that, but that's going to be pretty popular. So I have not been taking much Saquon, but in this case, I think it makes some sense.
Change it up a little bit. Let's see. Who am I looking at? So I might be looking closer Pollard. I could go Higgins if I really just want to build your team from the last one. I could go early quarterback if one of them falls. I would probably draft one of the quarterbacks if one of them falls, just because, like you said, that would be kind of unique at that point with their ADP.
Yeah, and I think, well, especially with Mahomes, there's a lot of cheap options late,
Right.
where you can still end up stacking around him.
I don't see a world where I get Lamar.
I think if you're getting Lamar, you'd have to take him at the top of the third.
And once again, we can kind of play it and see if hope that Burrow falls. I think that's probably the best bet here again. Would make the most amount of sense. It might be a best player available for me, and I don't have to build exactly on the AFC North right off the bat just because I got that at the top.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, there goes
no
the
quarterback.
They have not been. I mean, it's in my experience, it's been pretty rare to have any of those three fall outside of the second round.
Mm-hmm. I don't mind, or I don't dislike the idea of going Pollard, Devontae here, and then I can potentially, if I get it, I can get Dak later.
Yeah,
that would be a good way to go if I wanted to go east. Well, I guess it's decision time when it comes to that. I don't really want much of the NFC South. Olave is like the only guy. He's going to be the one in the offense. I think I'm going to just go Pollard here and then make a decision on receiver when it comes back around. Well, that made it easy for me falling into my hands.
Yeah.
Cool. Get your guys.
That's a pretty clean start there.
Yeah, if we really want to get our guys. We're going real in. I'm getting our guys right now. But
can you pull up the draft board here?
Yeah. Honestly. Where am I looking at here?
It's right below to the left.
To the left, to the left, to the left.
Nope, almost at it. By your name.
There it is. There we go.
Yeah.
I'm like, I know where it's at. I normally do them on the phone, so it's like,
yeah.
I'm sitting there and I'm struggling.
But yeah, this is where it starts to get kind of gross to me. Is like once Ramondre comes off the board
immediately, right there.
Yeah, it's the back. It feels really flat, like from here all the way through the fourth round.
Mm-hmm.
And like I'm just kind of throwing darts on everybody in that range. I don't really have any super strong opinions.
Yeah. I say we can kind of filter through this here.
My guy Richardson's already up into the top 90 now.
That's insane. Yeah, as far as the running backs go, you really are just kind of taking dart throws. Ken Walker's super, super scary.
He's a guy, I don't think I've taken a single share of him yet. I think he probably needs to fall into the fifth before I start considering it.
Mm-hmm. Hawkinson's on the board. Kittle would be a cheap stack too anymore. You just got to pick the quarterback, which whoever wants to do that, it's not my cup of tea, but
yeah.
Trying to get some numbers in my head on who I might be looking at when it comes back around.
I would have had a hard time passing on Fields there if you fell to me.
Yeah, you could have gone Fields, DJ Moore pretty easily.
Oh, man. I probably would have taken Gibbs there. What to do. This is not my favorite spot. That is for sure. I'll go Debo with my first pick.
I would agree with that. Got the
Then,
upside, always.
how do you feel about Ridley this year? He's a guy that I've been mixing in with my lineups, but I don't really have a strong opinion on him.
I don't love the idea of it, but we know he's been elite in the past, so it's kind of like the OBJ situation that every time he went to a new team, I thought like, oh, there's possibility that he's going to be that guy, but we don't know.
I went Amari here. I've already built a team with CD and Saquon. Those are two guys that I'm not really taking a lot of, and I've been taking more Ridley than Amari. So I'll just go all in on drafting this lineup full of guys that I don't really like.
So, yeah. So I'm kind of looking at my odds here, and there seems like a real possibility Burrow could fall to me. 1, 2. I got 3 people before me that haven't taken a quarterback yet. So I don't think it's impossible. I don't want to necessarily say likely.
Yeah, and the Higgins drafter is at the 1 spot, so you'll pick before him.
Right. Yeah, so if I get Burrow to fall here, that would be pretty big.
It would be a very nice start.
Nope, so much for that.
Man, who took?
All right, come up with a new plan here. Hawkinson came off the board. I thought about I wanted to go tight end early when we were kind of drafting, obviously depending on our slot at the time, but wasn't necessarily in love with the idea of it. But I was like, it would be something different, get it off the bat. If you could get like the 5 slot, go Kelsey, 4 or 5 slot.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen Kittle fall like all the way to the end of round 5 sometimes, and that's like getting to the point where it's an auto click for me, unless I already have a tight end.
All right, so I'm trying to figure out what I'm looking at here. If Mike Williams wouldn't came off the board, I would have thought about going Justin Herbert and get that stack. I'll say I'm not getting a whole lot of correlation here. I could go Herbert Allen. An option. I could go McLaurin to stay in the. I think I'm gonna go McLaurin just to stay in the East, and I like him as a whole. Still, I kind of touched on it with, man. I'll say the Herbert Allen stack was sitting nice and pretty there for him. Didn't give me much chance to even think. Okay. I don't know if I really want to go running back just because there's someone like you got these second-year receivers still on the board. I'm going to click London and just do a quick scroll down. I think I'm just going to roll London for now. And that leaves me options.
Yeah. I currently like your team a lot more than mine. We'll see if I can salvage this one, but
let's see my numbers on my next one. 71, 74. So I'm probably going to have to go Dak the next time around. Don't steal him. Don't be that guy.
I don't know. I got CD over here. I might have to grab Dak from you.
Got A-Rich there too, though.
Yeah.
Don't give up on your boy.
Let's see. And I pick early 8th, so I could get A-Rich. That would be nice.
It's the funny part about these drafts. It's like I can sit here and stare, and then like when it comes up to my pick, I'm like, oh god. It's Just trying to look at everybody else's build still. I'm definitely looking at 3 tight end unless something kind of trips around my way. I could go Pitts and hate my life.
If Pitts is there, I might be taking him, depending on what's on the board. I could go Ayuk and make this a San Francisco team.
And gamble on it.
Yeah. I did draft my first Trey Lance share the other day. He fell like 40 picks past ADP, and I was like, I can't pass on 17th round Trey Lance. Oh, well, there goes Pitts.
Didn't have to worry about that. Let's see where the Jalen Hurts guy is. I'm considering. Well, I guess you could consider Goddard here too.
Yeah.
If you wanted to go early tight end. It's weird because I guess I could actually go look at your build on here. I don't have to really think about it.
Oh, God. I was hoping to go Pittman and go with the Colts stack with Richardson. Yeah. I don't think I have very much Michael Pittman yet. Just looking across the board here, a lot of running backs, and I don't mind taking Joe Mixon, but in this case, I'm going to keep ripping wide receivers, and I've got a little bit of a NFC West build going here with the 49ers and Seahawks.
Fair enough. I think you can go with that pretty comfortably. And you could get Geno at a relatively free price too.
I think Geno is probably one of my favorite values right now at quarterback. He's ADP right now is 108. So he's behind Rodgers, Cousins, and Daniel Jones. Feels nice.
I was thinking about going Mixon there too.
Yeah, it would have made a lot of sense with your team.
I might go Mike Evans and JK here. Since I got the NFC South a little bit sprinkled in now too.
Dobbins is a guy I want to be in on this year. I just wish his price was like around cheaper. I have a hard time clicking him here.
Well,
same with Swift. I have not.
He's fallen to 70. Swift. If he falls to 71, that's 12 picks past ADP.
Yeah, that'd be a real nice value there.
Or I could go Pickens and get Pickett later. That's a hard choice. Also would probably have to go Dak here if I wanted Dak.
Are you pretty out on Waller? I think we both agreed that we are.
Yeah, for now. And Bellinger showed that he was pretty decent at times last year, so I'm just sitting there thinking that he might not take the full step back. I think he might be decent enough. All these running backs are coming off the board. Dobbins still hanging out.
Wow.
I mean, I think the Ravens are going to score a lot of points this year.
I do too.
And even if Lamar scavenge some of the touchdowns, yeah, I think I'm on a roll. I'm going to take the risk on Dobbins.
Yeah, I think that's a great value.
And I don't know if I kind of want to go Deontay over Pickens. Or I could really hate myself and go Darius Toney. Feel like I burned a pick. I think I like Deontay more because with any touchdown upside compared to last year, he's a top 24 receiver if he catches 5 touchdowns.
Yeah, I think one of the best indicators for wide receiver production is the ability to earn targets, and he's consistently shown he's a target earner.
For sure. The thing I don't like is my quarterback stacks going in right now.
Yeah, I'm probably going to be taking a quarterback with at least one of my next picks. I've got Deshaun, who I do not like at his regular cost, but I've got Amari, so at least need to consider it. And then obviously Dak and Richardson still on the board. So I don't really like Waller, and I don't need to take Ingram. I've got plenty of Trevor Lawrence teams with Ingram, so he doesn't really feel like a good click without Lawrence to me.
Sure. Seems reasonable. I could fall for the Michael Thomas trap potentially coming back around.
I don't think I have any Michael Thomas or Kamara.
I don't think I could do it. I just don't think it's there. I think Olave is the only guy that's going to do anything.
I like Jawan Johnson. He's going pretty late for tight ends. I think he's in the 150s.
Yeah, it's not a bad snag.
We've had a pretty big run on wide receivers here. Somebody just took Thomas.
Didn't have to think about that one again. I was gonna say, I feel like Dotson's gonna come off the board here pretty soon. If you don't draft him, I think somebody else is.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm having a tough time here. I don't like Watson, but I'd be getting him at a value and with his number one passing option. So
yeah, that's
kind of leaning towards Watson here.
I can't blame you on that one.
And then it becomes a decision between Dak, Richardson, or Dotson, who gives me another NFC East option. So I'll grab Watson with the first pick.
It's got me like anticipating here, like staring at it.
I'm going to keep the bit going and keep it at 100% A-Rich on stream.
Except in Dynasty.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still can't believe Austin didn't wake up for that.
It's a pretty big opportunity miss there.
So I could go Dak. I could go Danny Dimes too, and get Danny Dimes is more around the ADP that I'm drafting at. See how many people got quarterbacks before me. So 2 guys before me don't have quarterbacks. Everybody else has a quarterback. So I do think some of these quarterbacks are going to come off. And then I could take a stab in the dark on a Danny Dimes stack towards the end of the draft. It literally could be anybody. I'm sure Hyatt's like ADP is nothing.
He's come up a bit. Yeah, he's a 130.
He's actually drafted. Jeez.
I think Hodgins, Slayton, those guys are both going pretty late.
Slayton's almost undrafted.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll see where the 2 guys before me go quarterback. I'll probably end up going. It's hard for me not to pass on Javonte, if I'm being honest, because I think it's still there. I'll forever be a believer until I have reason not to.
That's fair. I've had a hard time clicking him so far just because I do think he's going to keep falling. But when we're dealing with a 1-week contest like this, you got to get your guys.
Well, that hurts. So I'm sitting on Kirk or going A-Rod if I want to go quarterback. If in my opinion, I think I'm just going to really fly low on quarterback and lean back now. I don't have much options unless I want to go Sam Howell and Kenny Pickett. I'm all right with going. I could go J-Mo and then get Goff on the way back. I think I'm just going to let it run out on Javonte.
Yeah.
And I think I want to go J-Mo if he's there. I know he's not going to be playing 6 games, but I got a good group of receivers.
And I think, too, his price is being influenced by the Vestball Mania ADP, right, where the regular season matters more. So he's probably at a discount for the purposes of a puppy.
All right, we'll go JMO and not think about it. I'll tell you, after watching all his clips with Bryce Young, I was just like, I don't know how he was always open. It was like anytime he was deep, he was just open.
I remember being so excited because I really don't watch that much college football, but going into that national title game against Georgia, I was excited to watch and get a look at JMO, and then obviously he got hurt, so that was a
Right.
real bummer there. So for my team right now, I've got my two quarterbacks. I do think, like, in all honesty, I probably should have taken Dak when I've already got the Cowboys' top pass catcher, and I've built in a NFC East bring back with Saquon. So probably should have gone Dak, but Anthony Richardson is just too fun to pass on. But I've got my quarterbacks lined up, so done there. Currently just sitting with Saquon at running back, but I like this pocket that I'm drafting in. So probably going to be going running back here, unless something really obvious sticks out from a stacking standpoint. But I've got CD, Debo, Amari, JSN, and Ayuk for my wide receivers right now. So I'm feeling pretty good about those.
My number one concern right now is this guy taking Goff. William Sawyer taking Goff at one of these two spots. If not, I think Goff falls to me pretty safely.
I'm wondering if he's been that person. I feel like they've been auto drafting because like the top guy in the queue has been going off each time before my pick. So hopefully Goff is nowhere near the top of the board.
And I'm gonna click my two guys that I want there. All the Baltimore players. It's so funny because it's like one of the receivers is probably going to be pretty okay, but I don't think anybody wants them.
Yeah, I've been taking Bateman and Flowers. I think I like Bateman more than Flowers, though, and the fact that he's cheaper. So I think I'll probably end up with more Bateman.
Right now, you have your choice on which one you want. You got all three right there.
I know. I've got all three of them, and then I've also got Elijah Moore, which would make sense with the Cleveland bet I've got going. It's just like I really don't want to be like I can cobble together a running back room from this point, but I think I need to take at least one, if not two, here. So Zay went off the board. I feel like drafters are being scared off by the uncertainty of who's going to be the guy in Washington, but things worked out pretty well for the Washington running backs with them not bringing in a new guy in the draft. So I like them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think Gibson performs much. I think if one of those guys gets hurt, though, going forward, it's going to be pretty looking pretty good for one of them, because we've seen in the past, even Adrian Peterson, like when he was old in Washington, was scoring a touchdown every game and being somewhat relevant.
And even if I don't necessarily expect Sam Howell to end up playing the whole season, if he does, I mean, they could be like a Bears or a Ravens offense where the rushing opens up the run game more.
Definitely. So
I almost took Freiermuth, by the way. He was in consideration.
No, P-Shaw. He ain't gonna do that to me. So yeah, well, I got. He's got to get there for me.
Yeah,
I'm gonna take Goff first.
Yeah.
I think the guy in front of me already, or the guy in the middle of me, he does have a tight end, so I'm not gonna worry about it.
Just looking at my team and trying to think through where I'm gonna go the rest of the way. I'm also looking at a 3 tight end build, so probably 2 quarterback, 3 tight end, which means I might have to stop at 7 wide receivers, which is a little bit thinner than what I normally do there. But
yeah, I feel really good about my receivers right now. I really do like my team a lot right now. So
Yeah, if you can land the plane at quarterback, you're going to be in good shape, I think.
Yeah. Would you only go 2 quarterback, go Goff, Pickett? I feel like that's 3.
Yeah, that's pretty thin because neither of those guys have much rushing upside either. So
that's a good thing that guy decided to take Freiermuth right in front of me. All right, well, definitely Goff, so we're gonna leave that there. I could risk the Kincaid. I think at this point I just punt tight end and really just fly with it. I could go, since I got an NFC South a little bit in there, I could put Jamal Williams, and that kind of will, with the Kamara suspension pending. I like the idea of that kind of covering if in case Javonte don't play at the beginning.
Yeah, I think they pair pretty nicely there.
So I think that'll be my route. And as a backup plan, yeah, I think this is an obvious pick. I do like the idea of Herbert because there's so much upside potentially there, and I like Mitchell still too. I just think it makes the most amount of sense with what I got going on.
I've been having a hard time with Herbert because I really like him, but I'm not very confident in who's going to be the guy in that Bears backfield, and the other two are, 2 or 3 rounds cheaper than Herbert. So.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just hard right now with this team that I got going. Blah, blah, blah. I don't know where I want to go. The thing, Deontay Foreman, I really do feel like he's going to basically take the Montgomery role and score everything at the goal line if Justin Fields isn't.
Yeah. Yeah, and if that's the case, then what are we really getting in Khalil Herbert? He's
exactly
a between the 20s guy who's not going to catch passes. So.
Let's see. So you're coming up next. Who are you looking at?
So I wasn't planning on it because Downs had been going much later in drafts. But yeah, Alec Pierce just got starred in my queue because getting a little worried about having a viable stack partner for Richardson that isn't just one of the indie tight ends.
Sure.
I think I would have seriously considered Kincaid there as well. But yeah, I think we'll go Pierce. And then since I already took Robinson, I don't really love having Gibson on the same team, so I'll just take a dart throw on Roschon Johnson.
Hope for the best.
Yeah. Rookie running back in a high upside offense, so can't complain there.
So I'm going to tell you, I'm considering, since I got Goff and we're going NFC North with a little bit there, I'm saying like, I'm trying to stick to divisions, and I'm sitting here and I'm like, I got so much of everything spread out so far across, but I'm considering Love and Dobbs if they're both there when it comes back around to me.
Yeah, I think they've been going. What is their ADP? 140. Yeah, they've been going like right in the middle of the 12th round, so I actually think it'd be a little bit of uniqueness to it if you can get both of them.
I would like it. I'm gonna queue it up and do that as my brainstorm, because then I'd have 2 in the NFC North, and if they're playing Detroit at home in week 17.
Oh man,
a lot of upside there.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody goes Dobbs. I think Love will be, and then we'll see what comes around. Like I said, I think I just fully punt tight end.
Yeah.
Oh man, this guy's got me worse since he just drafted Osborne. Look at his team. That's the only thing he has in that division, unless I'm overlooking it really fast.
No, it looks like
So,
just a couple
right.
Minnesota pieces there.
I think it's fun to take a shot on somebody like Jordan Love. Been in the system long enough, you could end up
Hopefully, you're
showing
getting
up.
less of like the rookie learning curve with
Yeah.
him.
Kokomo. Ooh, all right. Safe little stack back to back right there. So how many picks I have left? I got 5, 14, 15. 5 picks left, so I need to probably get, let's see here, 1 running back, 1 quarterback, 1 running back, 3 tight end. Ooh, that's not gonna
Yeah,
look very pretty.
I think the hard part is I don't mind doing 3 QB. I don't mind doing 3 tight end, but once you get yourself in a situation where you have to do both,
Yeah.
things start to get really tricky.
I like my receivers safely though, so I think typically same thing. I like to do 8 receivers typically, but we'll see.
I'm in a decent spot for running backs. It'll be a little bit of a reach, but that's going to happen when you're picking at the turn.
Yeah.
I would have considered Higbee if he was there. But I'm definitely going to take one of the Colts tight ends with my last pick. So I know I've got that in my back pocket.
Fair enough. I'm trying to think, like going through my queues here, different players that would actually be useful. I forgot about Jaden Reed coming down at the bottom too. He could easily, I could have waited, got somebody maybe a little better. Could have went Greg D.
Yeah, he fell quite. He's one I've had a hard time with.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily worried about Troutman, but new coaching staff could come in and like Alberto more than Hackett did.
Start everything over.
Yeah. Honestly, I would have seriously considered Algier there because he fell quite a bit, and he's still like, God forbid something happens to Bijan, he's sitting pretty to be a high-level producer. So I don't really have a lot in terms of division correlations going right now. So we grab Jalen Warren and then deciding between Singletary and Chase Brown for this one. I'm just going to take the shot on Brown playing in the better offense than a guy in Singletary who could be on the worst offense in the NFL as a backup running back.
And like I said, he might be the starter.
Yeah.
I can't believe there's so many people unsigned. Like you sit there and look at this, and that's kind of crazy.
Yeah, like, those guys are
names,
gonna mess up some backfield somewhere.
Yeah. Just hoping it's nowhere that we care about. Like if he would go to somewhere like Denver, that would be just so awful.
Yeah.
It would be anywhere and anything.
I still think there's a pretty good chance that Zeke is back on the Cowboys and Hunt goes back to the Browns on a cheap deal. Fournette's the wild card to me. I have no sense of where he's going to end up.
Might not play, truthfully.
Yeah.
Because I can't think of anywhere that really is like in desperate need. Oh, that kind of sucks.
Oh, that would have been nice.
That was one I was kind of hoping on, but
I just went to go through and star some tight ends for my next pick. Didn't even bother with Laporta since I see you've got him
Yeah.
queued up and ready to go there.
Yeah, it makes sense. I like Mayer better personally. I could still probably get Jimmy G. Yeah, if I wanted to, if Pickett goes right here for whatever reason, I probably would have flopped that. But I think the smart thing here to do is this guy in front of me's got 2 quarterbacks. Let's see who his are real quick. If they're good. Yeah, Kyler. I'm gonna just go Pickett. And if he picks Laporta in between, I'll go Mayer.
There you go. Got yourself a pretty decent 3 quarterback room there.
Yeah, to do a whole lot of nothing. No, I think between Jordan and Pickett, one of them will be all right. And Goff, if he has any spike games like he did last year, I mean, Goff was looking amazing for a while.
Yeah. I will say I'm annoyed because anytime I try to build a Houston stack or a heavy AFC South team, Nico is like the one guy from Houston that I want. And I swear anytime I try to build it, he's gone in like the 130s. And now he's just in free fall.
Well, that's the thing too, is he's probably I guess the most well-known receiver. Oh, I forgot Robert Woods is there.
Yeah, but Woods is over 30, has coming off the ACL not that long ago.
Kind of washed in general. You could get Michael Mayer to fall to you.
I know that's definitely the hope right now. I'm kind of in a point where, so I've got 4 picks left. I know 3 of them are going to be tight ends, but then beyond that, I'm kind of at a point where I could either take a 6th running back or an 8th wide receiver. And I do think this guy ahead of me is auto drafting, so I don't think Nico is going to be there. But if he was, I would have a hard time passing on him.
Yeah, I agree on that. I'm having trouble trying to even think of who I would go with as my other running back.
Got your boy Izzy A down there.
I know, I was looking at him.
Oh, man, there goes Mayer.
Yeah, so much for that. I don't have anybody else that's in that division. At this point, not necessarily about getting correlation. You're kind of, unless you're stacking it with one of your quarterbacks.
Yeah. Things have gotten pretty gross for me at tight end right now.
Yeah, well, trust me. I think we're trying to steal from each other. So
yeah.
Looking the same way.
Man, I am at a loss right now on what I'm gonna do.
I know where I want to go.
I'll take a stab on Gesicki. He's not really a guy that I feel good about this year, but who knows? Landed in a new spot. I'm going to grab Curtis Samuel and then wrap up tight end later because just about everything at tight end right now feels like a dart throw anyway, and I'd be reaching pretty heavily. So I've got Brian Robinson and Saquon and then CD. So adding in some more NFC East here feels okay.
Yeah, so that's what I'm kind of looking at here. Is just I'm gonna pick whatever running back I want at this point, and then whatever falls to me at tight end is the route I'm gonna go. Who I want at running back is not exactly. I could go Tajay.
You know, a name you should consider at tight end is Luke Musgrave.
Yeah, no, that's exactly who I was looking at with Jordan Love, just to get the stack. He was probably who I was going to take first. If Tajay's there, I think I'm going to go him. But You think Tank's gonna get more playing time?
Yeah, I think I've been worried about ETN. I pretty much haven't been picking him unless he falls into the fourth, which has happened more often than I thought. So still got a decent amount of ETN on my team so far.
Oh, this is hard for me to like. It's just kind of ugly, and I need a guy who's more likely to produce. I would go Gus here if I didn't have JK.
Yeah.
But it seems kind of redundant. I'm going to bank on Derrick Henry getting old.
I think that's a pretty good bet. Pretty smart to take Musgrave here because just looking at the tight end landscape,
yeah,
it's gross, and I'd have a hard time passing on the potential of a rookie if Musgrave was still there for me.
Right. Well, it just completes the stack.
Yeah.
Hurst is about the only other guy that's going to be the starter that we know is the starter.
So for me here, what I'm looking at, I've still got the San Francisco and Seattle pieces. So I could either add Noah Fant or Trey McBride, and then to go with the Indy tight end to wrap my team up. I kind of ended up in a weird spot with quarterback. Like I almost wish I wouldn't have taken Watson since I had the San Francisco double stack set up.
Yeah. Take a flyer on one of them. Hope for the best.
Yeah.
Because Purdy's still on the board, ain't he?
I think so, yeah. Maybe not. Yeah, oh, he just went. Oh.
It's funny. I click on quarterback, and we still got Tom Brady going before some like people
That's wild.
Like Jacoby Brissett, like is more certain to play than a lot of people at this point. I mean, I don't think Sam Howell's.
I don't know if people are latching on to the Tom Brady to Miami rumors that have been floating around again,
but solely for the fact that like he has ADP versus the guys that are 216.
Yeah.
Or it's people that are out of touch, I guess, with fantasy potentially. Okay, let's see if I can actually stack something else out here in any way with these tight ends to make it look good. Nothing like going in with two rookie tight ends.
What could go wrong?
Hey, they both got draft capital.
That's true. Yeah, this team just needs to survive and get to the playoffs, and then you'll be in real good shape.
Right. Yeah, if they come around at the right time.
So I'm going to go McBride and then Kylan Granson. I don't really have a take on which of the three Colts tight ends are going to be more involved. So take the guy with the lower ADP compared to who is Jelani Woods is going a little bit higher than Granson. So my team ended up being a 2-5-8-3 build with Watson and Richardson, and then Saquon, Brian Robinson, Roschon, Jalen Warren, Chase Brown. Wide receiver was CD, Debo, Amari, JSN, Ayuk, Elijah Moore, Alec Pierce, Curtis Samuel, and we taped together the tight end room with Jasicki, Trey McBride, and Kylan Granson. So feels a little bit thin at running back and, all dart throws at tight end. but the rest of it feels pretty good.
Yeah, I like your team. I think it's going to turn out pretty A-okay. It'll be a shame that we're taking money from each other, but
yeah, we're gonna have to keep track of these and check in throughout the season.
We'll just name them combo or something. That way we know.
Yeah, what we really got to do is to build the brand is just take first and second in all of these drafts that we do together.
Yeah, I don't necessarily feel super confident about that. I don't hate my team. The meat of it in the middle here is good, but the bread on the sandwich isn't the best.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I don't really have much interest in any of my tight ends that are sitting around up here. Isaiah Likely's tempting. Noah Fant had a couple burst games, so that's why I'm kind of thinking that way. At this point, I'm strictly thinking who's going to potentially score the most points. I guess I'd rather go Likely just because I got some stuff in the AFC North.
I think he at least offers some contingent upside too, like if Andrews gets hurt.
Yeah.
So, all right, it'll be interesting to see how these teams played out.
Yep. So I ended up Goff, Love, and Pickett at quarterback. Pollard, J.K. Dobbins, Javonte Williams, Jamal Williams. Got the Williams. It's like my dynasty team. Tajay Spears at running back. Wide receivers, Jamar Chase, Devontae Smith, Terry McLaurin, Drake London, Deontay Johnson, Jamison Williams, Romeo Dubs. Tight end, Sam Laporta, Luke Musgrave, and Isaiah Likely. Likely not to have very good tight ends.
All right.
Not the best. 3-5-7-3.
Yeah, like we were saying, the three at each of the quarterback and tight end gets really hard to build around. So that's a build I'm generally trying to avoid. But
yeah,
for taking what the draft room gave you, I think you pieced together a pretty good team there.
Yeah, I think that's about the best that would have came out of it. So
yeah,
good enough for who it's for. We'll see.
All right, well, I think that's all we had for this one. As far as schedule goes, I think I'm going to do some solo stuff on Friday with the schedule release Thursday night. And then we'll be back at some point the following week for probably another draft show, but maybe do some check-in on how ADPs are changing, stuff like that. So
sounds good.
All right, for EJ, I am Alex, and this has been another episode of The Climb.